What if we can get athletes to learn more optimally before their training sessions? So Deitz, who's the creator of the GOAT performance drill, which he took the concept from Dr. Deborah Sunbeck, which she was the creator of the Infinity Walk, is a drill specifically designed to improve the learning acquisition of specific skills that come after performing this drill specifically. Why do we like this drill and why do we implement it with a lot of our field-based and team-based sports? The GOAT performance drill is really great for team-based sports that require the following. Your ability to actually track and focus on your opponent or even on your teammates or on the ball or the object that's actually in front of you. Knowing where you are in space, what this basically means is on the field, you're obviously going to be in 3 dimensions. Is the ball going over your head? Where are your teammates? Where are you in relation to the goals, wherever it may be? The ability to actually analyze and know where your opponents are and knowing what space they're moving into, all whilst knowing what you're actually doing at the same time as well. So you have a lot of sensory inputs that you need to be able to process in order to make sure that you're doing the correct move in the sequence that's actually going to be following next in the game of play. So I'm going to provide a real simple example here. So if a ball is being kicked in because there was a behind from the goal square, basically what is happening is the players that are trying to scatter it around out right near the 50, basically they're trying to create or find some space, but also got to know where the ball's coming to as well and the space they need to go into. They also need to know the players that are around them, the opponents that are around them as well, in order to make the correct decision. But then you also got the ball flight that's got to take into consideration and how far is the boundary line as well. Why is the GOAT performance drill so effective for learning? When the athletes complete the GOAT performance drill, there's layers of complexity that comes with this. They're performing multiple gross motor movements. They're also performing a cognitive task, but also trying to keep their eyes fixed on an object, also trying to take in auditory information whilst performing these cognitive tasks. So when these tasks are performed all at once, basically we get a heightened release of dopamine, acetylcholine, and epinephrine within the brain. These neurotransmitters allow better communications between neurons and also between the 2 hemispheres of the brain. So what this really means? It really means it's preparing the brain to actually be able to learn. A lot of the centers within the brain are now heightened and the body is going to be a lot more responsive to what's happening in terms of the training session, in terms of the lift that they're going on, or even the tactical, or even from a game sense as well. When the GOAT performance drill is actually performed before the actual skills or the training itself, basically what we're doing is we're priming the brain to be able to learn. So therefore, everything that we do from a training perspective, whether it's practice perspective as well, they're going to be able to take on more sensory information and they're more likely to perform a lot better compared to not actually doing the drill itself. So it's really priming the brain, which is also another fancy name for neuroplasticity. So how do we perform the GOAT performance drill? What we want to do is set up 2 or 3 cones between 5 and 7 meters apart. What we do is we get the athlete who's going to run around the cones in a figure 8 configuration whilst keeping the eyes focused on a target or a person and passing a ball around their body as well. More variables can be added or taken away depending on athlete's ability. We usually do this for 3 sets between 10 and 20 seconds. And we usually pair this up with something that's a bit more skill-based right afterwards as well. Whether or not it's some form of med ball slams, throws, some sort of sprints, we like to pair them up with that because it's really priming the brain to really kind of get the body moving and get greater coordination between the left and right sides of the body. So if you're working with older athletes that cannot run for whatever reason, what you get them to do is just walk around in the figure 8 fashion. As they get better and better, they may not want to run, but you add in a 3rd cone to increase the complexity of it. If you're doing this by yourself, you can easily do this at home. Another trick that Deitz has mentioned on a previous podcast is actually getting the athletes, even junior athletes, to perform this task walking in front of the TV with the subtitles on, whilst reading the subtitles out loud, whilst performing the ball around the body, also walking around in a figure 8 configuration. We've been using this with many of our athletes and our Gen Pop members as well. So more specifically, we had one of our Gen Pop members. She suffered a stroke quite a few years ago. The left side of her body hadn't returned to full strength. And that was one of the measures that we had within our assessment process we had identified. So what we did is we incorporated the GOAT performance drill in a way that was relative to her ability. And over time, when we paired that with the strength training, we've now been able to really bring up her strength levels. So now the left side of the body is actually on par with the right, and she continues to get stronger throughout this whole process. This is by far one of the best drills we've used here at Inner Athlete. We 100% believe in this drill and been using this drill for quite a while now. And a lot of the research is pointing in the direction of utilizing this tool as a warm-up to really heighten the ability for someone to learn, especially in the weight room, whether or not they're new to training or they're a veteran with the barbell, to really heighten their ability to learn moving forward and continue to make more progress faster. If you found this was valuable to you, please leave a comment. Please like the video and subscribe, and we'll put out more content just like this. And if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments below. Thanks.